up, guys? Time to show off a build. This has a dial on it that was actually supposed to go to somebody. He told me what he wanted and what he needed, and then whenever I showed him what I had, he's like, yes, that's perfect, but I don't have money. And I've waited a year and a half, I'd say a year and a half, before now it's available. So normally I don't have that kind of issue with anyone, but he said, yeah, actually I can't afford it. He still plays in waffles, but you know, he can't afford that, so it's all good. He'll probably never see this, but if he does, here is your watch, sir. Anyway, custom painted sugar skull. Wanted to do in like a baby blue and kind of distressed. So what I did was I did that in baby blue, sanded it a bit, and I mixed that sanding of that dial in with that blue. So every once in a while you get a little kind of some dark edges in there, and it just kind of gives it a little bit of character. In a brushed case, then I happen to have one of these. I've never used these to my knowledge. It's a sloped thinner bezel, thinner bezel insert. It's polished, but it is a like baby blue-esque teal anodized minute insert, and I thought that actually looks really cool with that to give it a nice little pop. I did a set of white hands that have kind of like a teal-esque loom. I don't think it looms that way. We'll loom it here in a second. It should just loom green, but kind of gives that kind of a little bit of a presentation, so a little bit of pop there. Just a standard crown, nothing engraved on there. I actually did this on one of my remaining 2415 gilded movements. Has a stainless steel movement holder in there, assigned a little rotor, and obviously your low profile exhibition caseback. And then this is on one of my 3-piece. You don't actually get 3 pieces, so I guess it's not a 3-piece. It's a 2-piece with a center layer of that baby blue Italian. It's kind of a suede leather, but it's not. It's more rigid than my normal, just like suede by themselves. And then light blue stitched as well. So it's got that nice little warm layer going through on both sides, so no painted edges. You can actually see what's in there. And sometimes, yep, you can see it through the holes as well. You gotta look real close in that thin layer right through there. Then a brushed pre-V buckle. The wife said if somebody does not select this after a couple, that it will no longer be available, because she apparently really likes it as well, which is good, right? When she was making the bead, she's like, what? Whose is this? It's like, it's just going to be available to anybody. Oh, do you need money out of it? Like, let's see how it goes first. And then if that's what you want, then we can do that. So, bezel on this will turn left, it'll turn right. These are held on with a tension ring. A little tough to move these just because it comes in so far, so you really have to kind of get your fingers on it. So if you're actually using it to, calculate a time from a time, you can, but you're not going to accidentally bump it. It's not, it's a good 2 millimeters away from the side here. Automatic mechanical. You can wind it where it, put it in a watch winder, but if it's dead or you're not going to be very active, make sure you wind it just a little bit. And how you do that is you back the crown off the threads until you hear it and feel it clicking. At that point you can wind, and a wind is a turn away from you. Turning it towards you doesn't wind it, but you can wind it back and forth, which is what I often do because you can wind it pretty quick. If you do that for 4 or 5 seconds before you put it on, that mixed with the rotor movement in the back will wind your watch throughout the day. If you know you're going to be driving or sitting at a desk, you want to make sure you don't lose time, make sure you just keep winding it. So do that for about 15 seconds. You'll max out your 31-hour power reserve in it. You cannot overwind it, so don't worry about that. You can sit here and wind all day if you want. You'll only accept so much. The reversers will just not accept any more input. So When you're happy with your winding, you're going to pull it to the 1 and only click, and you can now set your time. It does not have a hacking movement, so it's going to keep going. You'll also notice you've got a wobble crown that deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement, so when you're pushing and prying on it, you're not putting any adverse pressure on anything. You'll also the clutch system, when this is screwed down, if you get any impact to the crown, it doesn't transfer it through the stem into the movement. Okay, Google, what time is it? I think they said 36. That sounds about right. Or it was 1:56. I think it was 1:36. Okay, Google, what time is it? No, it's 1:37, so we're a minute behind. Anyway, you'll just push it over, screw it down, get it out of that time setting. And that's the build. As with every build, you're going to get matching beads. We found some really cool as shit beads. So a little bit of pop there for you. It's going to come in a brown BBW special edition box. I don't have anything in like super light blue. So you're just going to get a brown one. This one will come with watch cleaners. This is good on all glass and metal parts, so everything here in the center, non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue. Along with a white microfiber. You can really tell if your watch is dirty. You're also going to get some leather conditioner. You'll probably never need to use it on the strap, but if you do, you'd apply it on the front and the back just a little bit, let it soak in, remove any excess using a rag or something that you'd use for your boots or leather shoes. Don't use one of the microfibers. And then lastly, you're going to have some fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon, just repackaged. It's like a poly watch. It's for your acrylic glass because you can't scratch it, but if you do, no big deal. Put a tiny bit of this on it and buff it out using your matching microfiber. If the scratch is up and down, go left and right, filling that scratch, haze it, buff it out. If it's still there, revisit it in 20 minutes or so once that's solidified so that you can continue to build up that scratch until it's no longer there. And that is the build. If it's going to you, congrats. You got somebody else's watch. Now, I don't know that we had everything planned on it, but we kind of had things planned. I was doing these kind of straps back then, so those match nicely, and I only had one of these bezels, and you can't get them anymore, and I thought, you know what, if I'm going to do something that's like, I have another dial that's similar to this, but it's not quite the same, but I thought if I'm going to make this something, you know, unique and cool, especially with the painting, how it's got some of that kind of black in there and kind of shadows, I thought might as well do something cool with the movement and something cool with a bezel that I don't even know if I can get anymore. Every time I've looked, I haven't seen them. I might be able to get them. Might be able to find somebody who has them. But offhand, not something that's easily found. And then lume on this. I think I said it earlier that we would check it. But it should. Yeah, see, it's just green. The second tan has a nice little, that's one of my ones from Moldova. So I think I must use a little bit different of lume on there. So it's a little bit more luminous, but that is the build. If it's going to you, congrats. Once again, you're getting somebody's cool watch. I can only wait so long. So if you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe, because I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.